Ever wonder how Netflix knows the exact number of series you might watch in one weekend? Or how many combinations of passwords are possible when you mix letters, numbers, and emojis? Well, these all rely on a powerful concept in statistics, the basic principle of counting. And believe it or not, this seemingly simple math rule is the backbone of choices, patterns, and predictions. Ready to dive into the counting secrets behind AI, data, and more? Before you say counting is for toddlers, think again. This math principle might just be the brain power your AI project needs. So, why should you care about counting in a world of artificial intelligence and machine learning? Well, think about every choice a machine learning model makes. Counting is the fundamental method by which AI explores possibilities. Everything from possible routes on Google Maps to the combinations in a decision tree for data classification relies on the principles of counting. Counting opens doors to understanding permutations, combinations, and probability, giving us insights into patterns and possibilities at scale. Imagine you are trying to create an AI that helps with inventory management in a store. The machine needs to know the different ways items could be arranged, restocked, or even displayed. The number of possibilities can get huge. Counting becomes the way to help algorithms manage options without being overwhelmed. And the best part, the basic principle of counting makes it super simple. Let's break it down. So, what is basic principle of counting? The principle of counting will be fundamental to all our work. It states that when there are X ways to do one thing and Y ways to do another, then there are XY ways of doing both. Example, I will draw here a shirt, or it is better to say, I will draw something which looks like shirt because I am not Da Vinci. Suppose you have 3 shirts. Again, I will draw here a pant. Suppose you have 4 pants. That means you have 3 multiplied by 4 equal to 12 outfits. Let me first erase these artworks. So the generalized basic principle of counting, if are experiments that are to be performed such that the first one may result in any of n1 possible outcomes, and if for each of these n1 possible outcomes there are n2 possible outcomes of the second experiment, and if for each of the possible outcomes of the first 2 experiments there are n3 possible outcomes of the third experiment, then there is a total of n1 dot n2 dot n up to nr possible outcomes of the r experiments. Confused? Let me explain this with an example. A state allots 7 place license plates for cars. The first three places of the said plate holds letters whereas last four places hold numbers. How many license plates would be possible if repetition among letters or numbers are prohibited? I will write here few numbers. 26 multiplied by 25 multiplied by 24 again multiplied by 10, then multiplied by 9, multiplied by 8, and at last multiplied by 7. These 26, 25, 24 indicates letters position in license plates, whereas these 10, 9, 8, 7 indicates numbers position in the said license plates. If we multiply all these numbers, we will get a huge number, which is 7862400. That is 7 crore 86 lakh 24,000, or in international system we can say that it is 78,624,000. Let me explain this. Why I have written all these numbers. That means why I have written 26 at first, then 25, then 24. I have written 26 at first because there are 26 alphabets in English. Let it be A. That is, in the license plate, the first letter would be A. I have written 25 at second place because as letter A has already been placed and it cannot be repeated, so I have to choose from 25 alphabets. In this case, as for example, let it be X. I have written 24 at third place because as letter A and X has already been placed and it cannot be repeated, so I have to choose from 24 alphabets. Now, for the last four places, at first I have written 10 because I have to choose from the pool of 10 numbers, that is from 0 to 9. Let the first number be 0. I have written 9 at the fifth place because as number 0 has already been placed and it cannot be repeated, so I have to choose from 9 alphabets. The story or the explanation goes on like this. So, there you have it. The basic principle of counting may sound simple, but it's a building block for understanding complex patterns in AI, data science, and beyond. Whether you are arranging data points or training AI models, this principle guides you in managing possibilities and making predictions. And don't worry, no need to count all this yourself. That's what the algorithms are for. Ready to dive deeper? In our next video, we will look at how these counting principles expand into probability theory, the key to making smarter AI decisions. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out. Until then, keep counting.